Not only is he the youngest climate leader in India, he is also a youth diplomat who has spoken at the Harvard Asia Conference, World Business Dialogue, and Global Startup Youth. He has spoken at TEDx events in IIT Kanpur, NIT Calicut, and PWS Gurgaon. His great achievement of seeing 44 countries at the age of 21 is what has prompted him to talk about traveling and how important it is in his speech, Parents, Please Let Your Kids Travel. Can we please have a round of applause for Ankur Thakuria?
Okay, I'm not nervous, but it's a bit chilly out here, so I might. I remember the time when I was sitting right there where you guys are sitting right now. I'm not that old. It's just a couple of 3-4 years back. I was sitting right there. And I was sitting with my friends pondering upon questions as to what makes our mere existence so very exciting. It also brings me back to the time when I used to have those heated conversations with my parents. I used to ask them this question I'm sure all of you ask. Why on earth do I study these subjects which I'm never going to use in my life? I mean, like, why? And they give me the same very answer most of you would have got. That is, okay, you need to graduate and you need to get a job. Like, okay, I get it. That's the same very answer. Now, if I look back at those times and I compare it with the times right now, I don't think it has changed much. Even today, we are the same people afraid of taking chances, and we keep pushing our children towards a path which has been taken by generations before. And why we don't have an answer, we just keep doing it. I was on this same very path at a point of time. And I remember when I was back in school, the monotony used to upset me like anything. I used to come back home and keep questioning myself, why am I even doing this? So, okay, I'm giving you an analogy about how I am same like you. And okay, here's the part where I tell you where I broke free from that. And that tells you why am I here today. There was this point of time in my life when I decided to break free, when I decided to not be on the same very path anymore, and I decided to run wild for some people. And this was the point of time when I decided to travel, and I decided to travel solo. I was in school, I was also in college, and I was also hungry for adventure as well as I wanted to discover places and cultures. So right now, I stand at a juncture in my life where I've been to 44 countries, all solo. I've been to over 200 plus cities, and I have seen life in a whole different way. And it has given me certain points to live with, which has changed the way I look at life. And that is the number 44, and being alone out there is why I am here today. People say a lot, like life is not about money or the job you do, but how many of you think that we really live up to it? Not a lot of us. Most of us still run the race, and as we run the race, we lose track of what do we really want. It's true, traveling gave me a lot of opportunities in terms of career prospects and blah, blah, and all those things. But it gave me something which was even bigger. It gave me that time, it gave me that opportunity to look deeper into myself and question my interests, listen to my intuition, and seek answers for questions which I might not have even asked if I was running the same race. I've been to more places than most of the people would do in their lifetime, and I have seen myself be out of place way more than most of you out here. I have seen myself be in places wherein it could be life-threatening for me. I remember the time when I was in Taksim Square. You guys remember the Taksim Square riots, right, which happened in Turkey. I remember I was right there being hit by rubber bullets, and when your hotel lobby is being showered with, what do you say, what do you call that? The can which throws a lot of, tear gas cans, right? I'm sorry. So yeah, your hotel lobby was being showered with tear gas cans. I was there right there. I remember the time when I got stabbed in Pune when I was trying to teach kids about why not to do drugs. Fascinating, but yeah, it can be life-threatening at a point of time. And I also remember this one instance when I was in Lahore, and this was the point of time when Karachi bombings took place, and I was supposed to take a flight back from Lahore to Karachi that same very day. Evidently, the flight did not take off, and I didn't go there. But one particular and peculiar thing that happens, I didn't know it happens. It happens in Pakistan is that when something of this sort happens, they actually block all outgoing calls which are international calls. So I was out of touch with my family for a week, and essentially they thought I was dead. Like, okay, my son's dead. Didn't happen. I came back after a week. So these are the kind of experiences that I've been through. And has it taught me anything? Why am I standing here advocating travel to you? Why am I asking parents to let their kids travel? There are reasons behind it, and the reasons are simple. Think of it in this way. When we are stuck with our routines, life seems very simple. We don't have much options in front of us, and human lives are pretty much straightforward. The experiences which the previous generations have had are being passed on to us, and we just follow it. Most of the times, we take decisions, but sooner or later, if you step back and question, you would realize all these decisions are not necessarily yours. Reason being, most of it is influenced by the society that you live in. You look at a single object or a single situation in your life with a point of view that you are aware of. You are in your comfort zones. But when you are traveling, you're not in your comfort zone. It's the comfort zone of someone else. It's not your comfort zone. So traveling shows you that different side. It shows you the other side of the story, which is pretty much essential if you want to get an understanding of something in a whole worldly manner. I remember this study where people in their prime were questioned, and they were questioned this very simple thing. They were asked, so what do you regret the most? And when I talk about people in their primes, they are 35 to 45 and beyond. People who have made a lot of money, settled down, and are pretty much in place. So they were asked, what do you regret? What do you think will be an answer? Can any of you like just shout out an answer? What do you think would the answers be when I question them, what do you regret? And I do want an answer. Can you possibly say? Sure. Okay, that's one. Is there anything else? Okay, no. Okay, anyways. So some of the answers which they came across were this. Someone said, I regret not making more money. Someone said, I regret not having a bigger car. Someone said, I regret not marrying my first love. But the answer which came again and again in numbers which was beyond any other answer, that was, I regret not traveling more. And these are people who have everything in their lives. These are people who are doing well in their primes. Now, I do advocate travel a lot. I have talked to parents before, and one of the questions that they ask me is this. So what happens to their careers if we allow them to go out there and travel? Well, for sure, you don't need to travel the world in order to look at it in a whole different way. You just need enough travel that it questions you, that it allows you to discover yourself. That's the amount of travel that you need. And the next question, which is a pretty obvious question that most people ask me is, so you have traveled. How does it make you any better than any one of us? I never said I was any better than any one of you in first place. That's just a thought. The idea is, how can we appreciate travel? How can we use it to make us a better human being? It's not about comparison. It's about opening up your horizons and letting things come in. It's about seeking experiences which will allow you to look at other side of the story which most of us would never really look at. Now, think of it in this way. Being on the road alone when you don't have plans. I'm talking about travel experiences when you just have your to and fro tickets from XYZ country or a city. And you don't have any plans. You don't know which hotel you are living in. You don't know what you're going to do the next day. All you know is I'm traveling tomorrow and I'm coming back after maybe like a month. Figuring out your way, managing expenses at this kind of situation is indeed a daunting task. It's intimidating. Trust me, it's very intimidating. And that too when you are in a place where you're not born and brought up, you don't belong there. The societies are not designed the way you have looked at societies all through your life. This teaches you. This teaches you what? People are not throwing you out of their houses. People are welcoming you. What does it teach you? It teaches you a very simple thing is that we all are different. You learn to embrace differences when you are traveling, and it makes you more tolerant towards it. In other words, you start taking in every single difference that you see in your day to day life much more maturely. That's just one part of what can travel do for you. Now, being a globetrotter can be quite fascinating. I have had my friends who tell me, "Oh, Ankur, your life is so awesome that you go here and there and you go all over the place." Like, yeah, that's fascinating. But it has its own set of pros and cons. One of them being not all of your travels are worthwhile. Now, when I say not all of my travels are worthwhile, what I mean to say is I don't consider an experience worthwhile when I don't end up making a vital human connection. What I mean to say is it doesn't matter if you have a ticket from here to Paris, stay there for a week, see the Eiffel Tower, go travel across whatever other places you can possibly be and come back and not make a friend in that city. What did you essentially do? You just essentially went and browsed something and you come back. How on earth is it any way different from your day-to-day life? People make your experiences vital. Traveling alone, solo, without plans, allows you to do that. You interact with people. You exchange ideas with them. I've never been more content with anything about my travels than being able to make a friend all the while making my way through a new city or a country. And I'm talking of a friend that I can look back at. That's what traveling teaches you. So, I remember this time when I was in Paris. Now, think of it in this way. Traveling opens you up to a lot of different slices of culture. What comes to your mind when I say the word cheese? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Okay, just cheese comes to your mind. So, okay, dumb question. Anyways, so the thing that comes to my mind is it's a off-white square piece of product which you use it in your bread or something. So here you go. It's like a cheese sandwich. You travel to France and then you realize there is a different cheese for every single day of the year. Now, I was with my Parisian friends and I end up going into a cheese shop. And the moment you enter, it's like a festival of mold. And so I see him picking up a moldy piece of goat cheese and he takes a deep whiff. And he speaks out, "Oh, Ankur, you really need to smell this. It smells like the feet of angels." Okay. So, yes, traveling opens you up to a lot of new experiences, some of which for sure might smell like the feet of angels. But the idea here is it connects you with people, which in turn connects you with culture. So, that's one part of what traveling does for you. Another part which traveling has taught me is it teaches you empathy. And that is, we all have heard of whatever is happening in Syria or the crisis along with it, right? How many of us really feel towards it? Like, we do follow the news, but it's very easy to turn a blind eye when we are not really affected by global affairs. Traveling brings you face to face with all of this. And it's a very different story when you have friends in all the single continents because you are supposed to look up to them. And at that point of time, you follow news in a whole different way. So yes, travel teaches you empathy. And one of the biggest learnings which I believe is essential to life, travel teaches you to appreciate what you do. Travel teaches you to appreciate your own dreams. Think about it in this way. How many of you are familiar with this scenario? So in India, we talk about cracking one of the biggest and the toughest exams on the planet, right? And post 4 years of college, we talk about taking home a handsome 8-figure salary. Do you guys get what I'm talking about? What am I talking about? Which exam am I talking about? IITs. And 8-figure salaries is what people go insanely crazy about. So they lock themselves up for the 2 years before the plus twos. And yes, people do it. I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is that's one kind of a dream which most of the kids in India will have. Maybe we can call it like the Indian dream, right? But Travel to Eastern Europe. Do you think that makes any sense to someone coming from Lithuania, for instance? No. So they will have their own set of problems, own set of dreams. Maybe for them, the ideal dream might be the Lithuanian dream, right? So as I travel develops my ethnocentricity, and it has taught me every single person's dream can be different, and every dream is beautiful. It taught me I don't need to care what somebody else thinks about me, nor do I need to compare whether am I better than someone else. It taught me one important thing. All I need to care about is, am I better than what I was yesterday? Because that's what I can control. I cannot control the rest of the story. Apart from this, thoughtful travel, they say thoughtful travel is really indeed worth the money and the time you spend on it. It teaches you to appreciate your existence. It helps you connect with nature. Most of the times in our routine jobs or the timetable that we have as students, we tend to lose connect with nature. We fail to appreciate it. Travel brings that back to you. Whether you are cruising on the Rhine Falls, or you are taking a hike somewhere in the mountains of Ladakh, or maybe you are just having a fun time camping on the banks of Lake Baikal. All of it is nothing but pure beauty in front of your eyes. And you would appreciate it to its fullest only when you submit to it. Traveling gives you that chance. Another important thing is, when you travel to random pockets of this world, rare places where not a lot of people from your region travel to, you realize that you carry the formative image. The way you connect with their culture, the way you respect it, is the way they will reciprocate. And it's our duty to pave the right way. Not only this, there are a lot of misunderstandings that people have regarding your country, your culture, your race, your language, your religion. It gives you the chance to go out there and straighten all of it out. And that's important, I believe. So, as you are out there, you realize people have their own baggage. When I talk about looking at the other side of the story, I talk about going out of your comfort zones. When you move out of your comfort zones, you interact with people. You get to know what are their struggles. You know how to appreciate people's lives, their dreams, and why is it necessary for us to connect outside of the sphere that we live in. Let's just bring it back to what I had to say in the first place. Cutting into chase, why do I advocate travel, and why do I urge parents to let their kids travel? I know it looks like a gamble, and I know it looks pretty risky as well. What happens to their career, anything and everything, all the questions that keep cropping up in your minds. My parents had the same question. They were never really up for it. Uncle, go out there, do whatever you want. It was never like that. But trust me, you can obviously take a time out while you're running towards your degree. It's not that you need to throw back everything because you want to travel. The idea is, as parents, it's your duty to pave out a path for kids wherein they know what they really want. They know what makes them happy, and that's what they can turn it into a profession. Traveling out to a new country, as they pave out their own path, discovering a new city, you would realize they would not just have done that, they would come back with discovering a whole different side about themselves. It'll teach them truth about themselves they were never really aware of. And that's what's important. As I close this, it reminds me of a quote which Muhammad said like some 1800 years ago. And it was this: don't tell me how educated you are, tell me how much you have traveled. It's not just Muhammad. A lot of other great souls have advocated travel and have shown the benefits of it. I have traveled. Travel has inspired me. It has given me the strength to go out there and do what I can to make a difference. And I'm sure thoughtful travel can do the same for you. Another thing that you need to consider is life is not a guarantee. And you never know when your travel ticket can expire. So do the best you can and get the best out of it. Thank you.
It's okay, right?